Night Shift Horror Series, Episode 1. Let me start with this. If you work in a hospital long enough, you stop being afraid of ghosts. I have this conviction that every hospital is haunted. Ask anyone who works in one long enough. They will surely have one or two crazy, weird stories to tell at least. But it's never the obvious ones that stay with you. It's not the wheelchairs that roll on their own, or the intercom crackling with dead voices. That stuff? Every hospital has that. You learn to shrug it off. No, it's the ones where you can't explain what happened, but you know for a fact something was inches from you. Watching, waiting, maybe deciding. And out of all the messed up things I've seen working hospital pharmacy night shifts, and I've seen plenty, this is the only one that still wakes me up at night sometimes, sweating, because I don't think I was supposed to leave that room alive. At the time this particular event happened, I was a 28-years-old lady. We were doing a stock shuffle. Happens all the time. When a unit closes, we reclaim unused meds before they expire. That night, I was scheduled to pull inventory from a closed ICU in the East Wing, 2nd floor. It had been sealed for months, supposedly under renovation, but no work ever got done. The whole floor just sat there, gathering silence. I clocked it right away. The timestamp on my cart manifest, 2:58 a.m. I remember looking at the screen and feeling that familiar static of dread. No reason for it, just instinct. You don't ignore that instinct in hospitals, not at night. The East Wing is a different animal after dark. It's colder. The lights don't hum, they buzz. And it's too clean in there, like no one's supposed to touch anything. I swiped into the ICU and the door opened with a hiss, like it didn't want to let me in. 10 rooms, 5 on each side of a narrow corridor. All glass doors, no patients, no monitors, no nurses, just empty beds and the low chemical tang of sterilized air. I started collecting, room by room, whispering numbers to myself, clicking vials into plastic bins, trying not to notice the lights overhead flickering in no real pattern. I was moving on autopilot until I reached room 10. That one had always been weird. The other rooms were dead quiet, but that one? Even with the door closed, it was as if there was a sound coming from there, barely audible, like someone whispering behind a wall too soft to understand. I opened the door. The smell hit first. Not rot, not bleach, just old air, like the inside of a sealed box. The blinds were halfway open, and the parking lot lights outside threw a perfect square of blue-gray across the floor. It looked like a stage. I bent to open the bedside drawer when I felt it, that shift in temperature, like walking into a freezer. I looked up, just casually, but what I saw stopped everything in my body. There was someone standing on the other side of the bed, between the bed and the window, facing me, not moving. They weren't supposed to be there. That much was immediate. They were too tall, too still. The light from the window didn't touch their face, only outlined the shape. And it was wrong. Slumped, bent at one side, as if their spine didn't know how to be human anymore. They didn't speak, didn't flinch. They just stood there, watching me watch them. And then the overhead light flickered, once, twice. And on the third flicker, they were closer. Not walking, not stepped, just less space between us. A flicker of light, and the room changed. I backed up slowly, clipboard shaking in one hand. I didn't dare blink. Another flicker. They were gone, just gone. The room was empty again, but I didn't believe it. I couldn't, because I hadn't heard the door slide open. No sound, nothing. I turned to leave, and the door was already shut. I hadn't touched it. I know what you're thinking. Maybe it slid on its own. Maybe the weight triggered it. No, this wasn't mechanical. This felt intentional. I reached for the handle, and it didn't move. It was jammed. For about 20 full seconds or more, I thought I was locked in. My chest tightened. My legs started to shake. I started saying silent prayers. I held onto the door handle like my life depended on it, still trying to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. My heart was beating too fast. Then I felt the presence of someone, or something, directly at my back. I can swear I felt them breathing down my neck from behind. I dare not look back. I started saying my prayers loudly this time, saying the names of my kids and how I wanted to see them again. And then, suddenly, it opened, like nothing was wrong. I didn't run. I walked, fast, straight down the corridor without looking back. My cart slammed into one wall and scraped the other. The squeaky wheel sounded like it was screaming. I didn't finish the inventory. I didn't care. When I got back to the pharmacy, I filed a partial manifest and went straight to the restroom to throw up. I told myself I was just tired, hallucinating, lack of sleep, even though deep down, I knew that wasn't true. What happened wasn't my mind playing tricks on me, but I chose to believe I was hallucinating. Later that week, I asked a friend in security to pull the camera from outside room 10, just for curiosity, just to prove to myself there was nothing there. He called me that night, said the entire feed from 2:59 to 3:04 a.m. corrupted. Just static. Only that room, only that time. So yeah, ghosts? I don't care about ghosts. But I think something was in that room that night. Not waiting for attention, waiting for a choice. And I still don't know why it didn't pick me.